Okay, this video is for the 10.2 homework examples. Write the following exponential as a radical. Okay, so this is really just saying the square root of 23. Okay, this number is the number that would go here. So I have 23 to the first power because of the 1 goes on the inside. Okay, now we don't actually write it like that. When it's just a square root, we don't have to put the 2 there, and anything to the first power, we don't need to write that. So then it's just the square root of 23. So negative 8 to the 1/3 power is asking for the third root of negative 8, and negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. So the answer is negative 2. 16 to the 3/2 power. Okay, the 2 tells us it's a square root, but I want the square root of 16 to the 3rd power. So I'm going to remember that 16 is 4 times 4. And I've got 3 sets of 4 times 4. So I've got 4 to the 3rd power on the outside. 4 to the 3rd power is 64. And I should really have this under that square root sign. 289 to the 1/2 power is just asking for the square root of 289, which is 17. 243 to the 1/3 power is just saying what's the cube root of 343, which is 7. This is just asking for the square root of 16 over 49. Remember to take the square root of a fraction. It's just really saying the square root of 16 over the square root of 49. So 4/7. Here we have the square root of 81 cubed. Remembering that 81 is 9 times 9. So we have 9 times 9 3 times. So that will be 9 cubed when I take the square root of that. And 9 cubed is 729. Okay. Here I want negative, goes on the outside, square root of 4 cubed. 4 is 2 squared. So the square root of 4 cubed is 2 to the 3rd power. And there was a negative on the outside. 2 to the 3rd power is just 8. So this is negative 8. 100 to the negative 3/2 power. Remember that that just means it's on the wrong side of a fraction bar. So now I have the square root of 100 cubed. 100 is 10 squared, and I have that 3 times. Okay. So this would be 10 to the 3rd power on the bottom of my square, or on the bottom of my fraction. and the top of the fraction is a 1. So it's 1 over 1,000. Seven to the 3/8 power. I can't actually simplify that, so I'm just going to rewrite that. I'm taking the 8th root of 7 cubed. And now the program is going to mark it right, whether you put it like they did, where they raised the whole thing to the 3rd power, or whether you raised the 7 to the 3rd power. Okay, this next one, we have 16 to the 9/8 power divided by 16 to the 7/8 power. Remember, when we're dividing and we've got the same base, we can just keep the base the same and subtract the fractions. 9/8 minus 7/8 is 2/8. 2/8 is really just 1/4. So this is asking for the 4th root of 16. Remember that 16 is 4 times 4, and 4 times 4 can become 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So the 4th root of that is just a 2. When we are multiplying, remember we can add our bases. So I'm going to have 5/6 plus negative 1/2, which I'll write as negative 3/6. So that becomes a to the 2/6, which is a to the 1/3 power. And this next one wants me to simplify that. 18 times 1/2 would be 9. 18 times 5/9 would be 10. And I still have x to the 5th on the bottom. I have 4 more x's on top. So it's x to the 4th, y to the 10th. Okay, so for this problem, I need to write my answer in exponential form. So I'm going to convert these to exponents. I've got y to the 11th power, and I'm taking the 10th root. So it's y to the 11/10 times y to the 12/5. I remember that I can add my exponents. So it's 11/10 plus 12/5, which could be 24/10. 24 plus 11 is 35. And if I reduce that down, both of those numbers are divisible by 5. It's y to the 7/2. On this next problem, I'm going to do it the same way. I've got t to the 4/5 power divided by t to the 4/7 power. I can subtract my exponents, and a common denominator would be 35. So the top and bottom of the first fraction got multiplied by 7. Of the second fraction, they get multiplied by 5. So I would have t to the 28/35 minus 20/35 gives me t to the 8/35 power. Okay, number 16, we just start on the inside most first. So I have y to the 1/3 power, and then I'm raising that to the 1/5 power because it's the 5th root. 1/3 times 1/5 is 1/15. And then it says meteorologists can determine the duration of a storm by using this formula, where d is the diameter of the storm in miles and t is the time in hours. Find the duration of a storm with a diameter of 9 miles. So I just put 9 in for d. 9 to the 3/2 power is 9 cubed, and take the square root of that. So that would be 3 to the 3rd power. So 0.07 times 27 is 1.89. Rounded to the nearest tenth, we get 1.9. Okay, you could type this whole thing in your calculator as well, just like this.